Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Vermont Beer Maker's Shadows. This is a maple stout coming in at 6.7% ABV. Check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome back to End of the Day Beer Review. Today we're looking at Shadows. This is a maple stout with an ABV of 6.7% by volume, and this is by Vermont Beer Makers. Now, I have never been to this brewery and I really don't know anything about it other than the fact that my friend Pete brought this back to New York when he was visiting from Vermont. He used to live on Long Island. He moved up to Vermont. This is by VermontBeerMakers.com. It says brewed and packaged by Vermont Beer Makers in Springfield, Vermont. Please keep cold at all times. And you'll notice that it is still cold. And it says it is a dark, robust, roasty, and smooth. All things you could want in a delicious stout. We added a good portion of maple syrup from our friends at Viking Farms in Gulliford, Vermont to really set this beer over the top. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this beer stacks up because Pete has told me that this is an excellent beer. So let's crack it open and let's see what we have. All right. You know, sometimes when you open the beers in the bar, an aroma fills the bar, but I'm not getting that right now. So we'll see. Hold on a second. Let me make sure there's no water in there. None. See what the pour is like. So this is a jet black pour. You know, no light there. Dark sort of mocha colored head. I am using a stout glass, so I'm hoping, you know, that it's gonna help it. I am still not getting, I sort of expected at least at this point some large head. I'm not sure if that's from my pour or if this is just a very, very carbonated beer. That's probably like two and a half fingers of head right there. Okay, so the aroma is actually really nice. So I'm getting some sort of like coffee-ish roastiness to it. I'm getting a certain sweetness there too. Now, I'm not getting any sort of maple there. You know, like there's no smell of maple syrup there, not yet. So I'm hoping that's gonna be, because I like maple in a beer. I'm really hoping that's going to be a major component of this. You know, definitely a lot of head on this beer, more than I'm used to. Little lacing on the glass, and the head is slowly dissipating. So I'm going to give it another minute or two, go through it. And again, I've never been to the Vermont Beer Makers. This is supposed to be a small place near where my friend lives. One last try on the nose before we take our first taste. Yeah, you know, I'm getting that dominant sort of coffee roastiness that you get from a good stout. And I guess, you know, most important thing, what does it taste like? All right, so there's a lot of roast to this. In fact, there's almost a hint of like of coffee there, that sort of coffee roastiness. It goes down very easy. This is very smooth, a nice mouthfeel. It's not syrupy, but it's not sort of what I would say like crisp. It coats the mouth. There is a certain sweetness to it. But I'm not getting. It's sort of like almost an unnamed sweetness. Let's see. You know, maybe just a hint on the back of my tongue. Am I getting a little bit of sort of that maple sweetness? But it's nowhere near pronounced as I would like it to be. You know, like I have to admit, I sort of dig pastry stouts, and I sort of like the sweeter stouts that come up. So when there's something that says maple syrup, I want to taste that maple syrup, and I'm just not getting a ton of that. Now, that being said, take another taste. Is this bad? It's not. It's a really, really nice stout. Goes down smooth. Very easy, no alcohol burn, which I'm not really surprised at 6.4. I wouldn't expect there to be an enormous amount of alcohol burn. But this could be a really nice, and just as I said that, I got just the beginning of the burn sort of in the stomach, but a hint, nothing major. This is, again, a nice beginner stout. There's a certain roastiness to it that's really enjoyable. So if you like coffee, it's not that it tastes like coffee, but it has sort of that roasted component to it. So there's that nice flavor there. There's a little hint of sweetness really on the back end. And the carbonation you can see is sort of like, maybe it was my pour that did that. The carbonation has really sort of worn away. And now I'm starting to get that burn in the belly. It's a little bit more pronounced than before. But I'm definitely not getting the sweetness that I expected. In fact, if I go back to that blueberry maple pancake stout that I did, or ale I did a couple weeks ago by Ellicottville Brewing, the maple there was pronounced, and it was pronounced in a good way. Like, it really reached out and sort of touched you. Here, there's just a hint, and quite honestly, it might be that I read the can and I read that there's maple in it, because I'm just not getting a whole lot of maple. Now, is it a good stout? Yes, I think it's a nice, accessible sort of beginner stout. Would I drink it again? Yes. Pete, if you bring a 4-pack of these and don't drink them with your family and leave me only one, I would definitely drink all 4 of them over the course of a couple of weeks. But is it that maple? Like, I hear Vermont, I hear syrup. I expect there to be sort of like a real sort of mapley feel to it. I will say this, the burn from the 3 sips that I've taken in the last few minutes has definitely increased. So it's an enjoyable beer, it really is. And will I ask Pete to bring more of this home? I probably will when he comes back to visit. But, you know, as far as calling it sort of a maple stout, I don't think it delivers the maple. I really don't. I think the stout part of it is excellent. I think the alcohol content is nice. There's enough carbonation that as you're swallowing it, you're getting, you know, all of those sort of flavors sort of bursting forth on, you know, the back of your tongue. And it's really nice. But this is primarily, to me, a stout. Not a maple stout, not a pastry stout or anything like that. Would I have it again? Yes. And if you see it, I think I would definitely pick it up to try it. So again, this is Shadow's Maple Stout, and it is by Vermont Beer Makers. And it is a good, solid stout. But if you're looking for maple, I think I would look for something where the maple would be a little bit more pronounced. To me, the maple is barely there. It's maybe a little subdued. Everything else they're talking about on this can, dark, yes, robust, yeah. There's a good mouthfeel to this. It's got a good alcohol burn in the stomach once you drink it. There's definitely a lot of roastiness there. It's smooth as hell, so when you're drinking it, it's a really enjoyable stout. What I'm not getting is that good portion of maple syrup. Maybe I got a can where it wasn't, you know, maybe it wasn't mixed into the batch, but it's definitely lacking in the maple area. Is it a good stout? Yes. Would I like this stout with more maple in it? Absolutely. Is it worth trying? Definitely. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go and finish this one off, and I am going to enjoy it. Like I said, I thought it would be a little bit more maple, but it is a good, solid stout, and I enjoy a good, solid stout, and I'm going to go and enjoy this. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Love to hear any comments. If you have a recommendation for a good maple beer or maple variant, I'd love to hear it, because I do like those maple variants in the beer. And I will see you next time. Cheers.